Welcome to this interactive study aid for property crimes, and there's a number of ways in which you can use this. It's ideal if you want to use it as an assessment for either A2 law students or BTEC diploma law students. It enables students to be able to test their knowledge across the various property crimes. And the crimes that are featured in this video presentation are theft, blackmail, robbery, burglary, making off without payment, criminal damage and fraud. 10 scenarios are featured, and for each one, either the student or a group of students will be required to do the following things: identify the crime, provide its definition, explain both the AR and MR components using the scenario, and provide at least 4 cases or their knowledge of 4 cases per property crime, and then apply the law in order to conclude whether the crime has been committed or not in each case. And the way that I advised you actually use this video is to pause it after each of the actual scenarios, and what you'll find is these questions will come back up on the screen where you're asked to identify the crime, provide the definition, break it up into its AR and MR components, and provide any relevant case law. So go ahead and have a look, use it in any way in which it suits you, and I do hope that you'll find it useful.
Great. So we're all good? Everything good?
Margaret, your visa application has been denied.
That
And you are being deported.
deported?
And apparently there was also some paperwork that you didn't fill out in time.
Come on. It's not like I'm even an immigrant. I'm from Canada, for Christ's sake. There's gotta be something we can do.
We can reapply, but unfortunately you have to leave the country for at least a year.
Okay, well that's not ideal, but I can manage everything from Toronto with video conferencing and internet.
Unfortunately, Margaret, if you're deported, you can't work for an American company.
Until this is resolved, I'm going to turn operations over to Bob Spaulding.
Bob Spaulding, the guy I just fired.
We need an editor-in-chief. He's the only person in the building who has enough experience.
You cannot be serious. I beg of
Margaret,
you.
we are desperate to have you stay. If there was any way at all that we could make this thing work, we'd be doing it.
There's no way. I'm begging you.
No, Margaret, excuse me, we're in a meeting.
Sorry to interrupt.
What?
Mary from Ms. Winfrey's office called. She's on the line.
I know.
She's on hold. She needs to speak right away.
I know.
But I told her you were otherwise engaged. She insisted, so. Sorry. So.
Gentlemen, I understand the predicament that we are in. And there's, well, I think there's something that you should know. We're getting married. We are getting married.
Who is getting married?
You and I are getting married. Yes.
We are.
Getting married.
We are getting married.
Yes.
Isn't he your secretary?
Assistant?
Executive, assistant secretary, the titles. But when be the first time one of us fell for our secretaries, would it, Edwin? With LaQuisha, remember? So, yeah, the truth is, Andrew and I we are just two people who weren't meant to fall in love, but we did.
No.
We did. Yeah, all those late nights at the office and weekend book fairs,
No.
something happened.
Something.
Yeah. Tried to fight it and can't fight a love like ours. So, are we good with this? Are you happy? Because, well, we are happy. So happy.
Margaret,
Yes.
it's terrific. Just make it legal. Hmm?
Oh. Yeah, well then that means we need to get ourselves to the immigration office so we can work this all mess out, right? Thank you very much, gentlemen. We will do that right away. What?
I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, relax. This is for you too.
Do explain.
They were going to make Bob chief.
So naturally, I would have to marry you.
And what's the problem? Like you were saving yourself for someone special?
I like to think so. Besides, it's illegal.
They're looking for terrorists, not for book publishers.
Margaret,
Yes?
I'm not going to marry you.
Sure you are. Because if you don't marry me, your dreams of touching the lives of millions with the written word are dead. Bob is going to fire you the second I'm gone. Guaranteed. That means you're out on the street alone looking for a job. That means all the time that we spent together, all the lattes, all the canceled dates, all the midnight Tampax runs were all for nothing, and all your dreams of being an editor are gone. But don't worry, after the required allotment of time, we'll get a quickie divorce and be done with me. But until then, like it or not, your wagon is hitched to mine. Okay? Oh.
All of the light stuff, and you carry all of the head. What are you doing with our TV?
Are you gonna steal that?
What? No, I'm the cable guy. Yeah.
Toby, did you call the cable company?
No, we've been having some outages in the area, and I'm going from house to house, trying to, check on people's connection. Yours is fine.
And whereabouts, please contact the police immediately.
I thought we were getting robbed.
I did too. We were so dumb.
You were here. Oh my God.
We both you are dumber than I am usually, but we were both equally dumb tonight.
That's true. I am dumber than most times.
Yeah, most times.
Dumb? You're not dumb. Man, y'all smart.
Oh, well.
And smart people get robbed.
They do?
Yeah. But because you're smart, you're gonna prepare. Look, you guys seem nice. I'm gonna make you a little offer. I have a storage company now where I can take all of your stuff and I'm gonna put it in the garage. And see, there, it'll be safe.
This is just what we need.
If you guys could give me a couple of hours alone, I'll even do this for free.
Wait a minute. What's your name? I've seen you somewhere before.
Warner. I'm Mr. Warner.
Mr. Warner of Time Warner Cable? Toby, Mr. Warner himself is in our home fixing our cable box.
Sir, it is an honor.
Oh, yeah, it is. You've got more money than Gandhi.
Don't do that. Don't.
You sure do drive a hard bargain, Mr. Warner. But I'll tell you what, you load all this up yourself and you got a deal.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
We'll leave you alone for a bit to pack up.
Hey, how about y'all give me a hand with the TV before you go?
Now, Mr. Warner.
You're smart. That was a test.
Did you call the police?
Yeah, they're on their way. He's never gonna get that TV off the wall. It's got one of those little padlocks on
Would
it.
you quit worrying about the TV? Look at all this other stuff we got. Now let's get out of here before the cops show up and leave Mr. Warner with the handbag.
Jess puts her shopping bags down, makes herself comfortable, and orders one of the most expensive bottles of wine on the menu.
A bottle of the Greco.
The waiter has no idea he's about to experience his worst shift ever.
Hang on.
Jess tries to make a call, but the reception is poor.
Thank you. Sorry, can I have the mushrooms, please? Stuffed mushrooms, yeah, thank you. Hang on, I'm going outside.
She takes the call outside, in clear view of the waiter.
Hello? Hello?
Jess returns in time for her appetizer.
Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Cheers.
After enjoying that, the waiter brings her main course. Little does he know that she's no intention of paying for any of it.
Okay, thank you. It's a little bit, please.
It's time for the third course.
Sorry, can I do an order of dessert, please? Thank
As
you.
Jess speaks to the waiter, she begins to make another phone call.
The chocolate mousse and an Irish coffee as well, please. Thank you very much.
Again, she takes it outside.
I've just ordered a dessert. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to be here for about another 10 minutes.
The waiter brings the dessert to an empty table, but seeing the expensive shopping bags still there, he's happy Jess will return. 15 minutes have passed. The dessert is left untouched, and the waiter is starting to get anxious. He checks outside to see if she's still there, but our hustler is long gone. She's done.
How so? But the 1, 2, 3 dance floor and the company. I'm just a manager, stood in front of a rival manager, asking her to love me. Lisa! Lace! 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 Oh, not again, Lisa!
What? Where's Charlie?
Right. Do you know that hotel you've always wanted to stay in?
One on the MC?
Mm-hmm. Get it booked, babe. We just won the lottery. All play and no work makes Gavin a dull boy. Yes. Yes, and you. Alice in Chains?
Give us a chance.
Hello? Sorry? Who is this?
I'm Savannah, who knows your secret.
Lisa? Is that you?
Voulez-vous your dirty secret? Le dirty secret. C'est ce que... Oh.
How'd you know it was us? Came up as Lisa's phone.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but Gavin, we still know your dirty little secret. Colin, I will not be blackmailed. Oh no. Oi, everyone! Colin, give us your watch. What? No. Right, you have to give us some. Ooh, what about booze? You love booze. A case of cider.
And fags.
Absolutely not. But you can have a box of broken biscuits. That really is the best that I can offer.
now have a go at some actual exam questions, and what you'll find is that there are both AQA and OCR exam questions here, one from both boards. Attempt the board that you are currently studying with your college or sixth form centre. So the first question is an AQA question, and it reads as follows. Dev, a builder, was working on a block of flats. He gave £300 in cash to his workman, Ewan, to pay a local supplier for building materials. Ewan spent all the money on lottery tickets and scratch cards, winning nothing. When Dev found out what Ewan had done, he wanted revenge. Alex had previously been a member of Dev's violent gang, but had recently developed a nervous illness which made him very frightened of Dev. Dev told Alex to get Ewan quick unless you want to see your old mum in hospital. The following day, Alex was driving his van along a major road. He saw Ewan's car driving in front of him. Alex deliberately drove his van into the back of Ewan's car, forcing Ewan to swerve narrowly, missing other vehicles. Ewan was unhurt, but his car was badly damaged. On the AQA paper, there are 2 paragraphs for each scenario, and the first paragraph will have a question or a set of questions linked to it, and this is what you are now seeing on the screen. So for that first paragraph, the question is, discuss the possible criminal liability of Ewan for any property offences arising out of his spending of Dev's money, and secondly, Alex for any property offences arising out of his deliberately driving into Ewan's car. And the total for this paragraph is 25 marks. Paragraph 2 from the same scenario. Ewan moved away from the area and met Glenda, a rich middle-aged widow. Because of his lack of money, Ewan made friends with Glenda and often stayed at her house. Ewan realised that Glenda was desperate to remarry. Hoping to get money from her, he promised to marry her. However, he had no intention of doing so. Glenda then transferred £50,000 into Ewan's bank account. When Glenda discovered that Ewan had been lying to her, she ended their relationship. She told Ewan, "Don't come here ever again." Ewan, however, wanted Glenda's gold watch, which he knew was in her bedroom. While she was at the house, he entered by using the key which Glenda always left under a plant pot outside. He found the watch, picked it up, but instantly put it back when he heard Glenda returned. He then left the house. And here are the questions that follow that final paragraph. Discuss the possible criminal liability of Ewan for any property offences arising out of his dealings with Glenda and in connection with the gold watch, 25 marks. So in total for this question there are 50 marks. Here is now an OCR question. It's worth 50 marks. It's not divided into 2 paragraphs the way the AQA one is. It's one full question like this. Tony works as a care worker for Madge. When Madge is away for the weekend, Tony sells 2 of her pictures for £500 and keeps the money. A month later, Madge gives Tony £200 to pay her electricity bill and tells him to take £10 from her purse as a treat. Tony takes a £20 note instead. Tony notices a bicycle in a nearby garden, which had been there several days ago, and he rides it to the shop. Tony buys £50 worth of lottery scratch cards with the electricity bill money and replaces it with the £50 he wins back. Tony pays Madge's electricity bill and buys a cup of coffee using the £20 note he took from Madge's purse. He's given change for a £50 note and he says nothing. Tony sees some flowers on a doorstep which he takes and gives to Madge. Advise whether Tony is criminally liable for theft.